Preston's childhood sweetheart had once again demanded a loyalty test to prove how I felt about him. This time she simply plucked a plainly dressed guy off the sidewalk. "You seduce her. Pull it off and I'll give you 500 grand. Later, when the man and I were tangled up in a kiss we couldn't bear to end, she leapt out and chirped, "Game over. Madeline, you didn't pass. I guess the wedding to my Preston is officially cancelled." Preston watched her with doting eyes. When he turned to me his face was all fury and disappointment. "In barely a month some random guy turned your head, what a loose woman. Kick him out right now and I'll reconsider our engagement." I kept my arms looped around the stranger's neck and smiled. "No need. Let's just call the wedding off." They had no idea the man was the boy I'd crushed on since high school. For me their little test was a long overdue reunion, the answer to every teenage wish. Cancel the arranged marriage, pull the Vance capital injection, and Gray would be in bankruptcy court within months. I reached the private booth door but didn't have to push it open to hear Tiffany's voice. "Preston, let's make another bet." I refused to believe I'll lose every time. I didn't need to ask, I already knew the wager. She'd stake money on whether some outside wolf could lure me into betraying Preston. They'd rerun this scene dozens of times and never tired of it. 3 years ago, when the Vance-Gray partnership was first floated, Preston's parents brought him to me. "Vance, this is our son Preston, about your age. We hoped you two could be friends. Young people have plenty to talk about." Preston's face was reluctant, but his parents forced the greeting out of him. The first time I looked him over, I extended my hand. "Preston, nice name. I'm Madeline." After that, pushed by both sets of parents, we shared a few dinners. Since nobody objected, the engagement became a formality. Not long afterward the families met at a hotel to set the wedding date. I slipped outside for air, bored by the small talk. From the stairwell I heard Preston. "Tiffany, what are you doing here?" The woman opposite him sounded frantic. "Preston, I heard you were getting married." "I flew back from Europe, please don't do this." Preston hesitated before answering. "It's a decision of both families. I can't fight it, and she's apparently liked me since high school, so the woman exhaled in relief. "Since she adores you, you have leverage. Delay it. Here's what we'll do." I'd heard enough. I returned to the banquet room and waited for their ambush. Sure enough, when Preston stepped back inside he toed a petite, cute girl. "Mom, Dad, look who's here." Mr. and Gray's smiles froze, Gray's voice cracked. "Tiffany? Didn't your parents take you abroad? Why are you back?" My own parents, puzzled, urged everyone to sit. Preston pulled Tiffany down beside me, holding her hand. "Vance, this is Tiffany, my best friend since diapers. Tiffany, this is Vance." With that single sentence he drew every line of loyalty. I nodded but ignored Tiffany's outstretched hand. Her eyes reddened instantly. "Sister Vance, you dislike me? Just because Preston and I grew up together? Are you jealous?" Both sets of parents' faces darkened. Gray hissed, "If you want to stay seated, shut your mouth, Tiffany." Cowed, Tiffany shrank, Preston grew protective. "Mom, she didn't mean any harm, you're overreacting." In the end the adults pinned the wedding to the 5th of next month. Ignoring Gray's murderous glare, Tiffany asked, "Sister Vance, do you actually love Preston or is this an act?" People who look devoted now usually end up cheating later. I showed the first flicker of interest. "What exactly are you proposing?" "Let me test you for him. 1 year. If you fail, the wedding's off, deal?" I answered without blinking. "Fine. I accept, and I'll prove it." Before the parents could object, Father barked my name. I didn't flinch. "Business proceeds as planned, but the ceremony is postponed." I added, "Bring on whatever you've got." I'll pass with flying colors. Preston and Tiffany hadn't expected me to agree, delight dawned slowly. And so the year-long loyalty test began. In that year Tiffany staged dozens of traps, but I handled them effortlessly. No matter how gorgeous the guy she threw at me, I never wavered. Gray watched our antics stay clear of the partnership, concluded I wouldn't dump Preston, and eventually stopped policing Tiffany's stunts. With the deadline looming, Tiffany panicked. She tried to drug me into cheating, and my best friend had to haul me out of the trap. Furious, the friend wanted to confront Preston. I stopped her. It's fine. It's still part of the test. Just one more year and it's over. When the year ended, Preston and Tiffany returned. A single year doesn't prove a thing, let's tack on 2 more. I looked straight at Preston. You feel the same? He avoided my gaze and nodded. If that's what you want, I agree. I endured Tiffany's endless harassment. She rang me at midnight claiming Preston craved authentic Peking duck. I caught the red eye, delivered it fresh, only for her to tear the box open, feed a stray dog, and dump the rest in the trash. I didn't get mad, just wiped the dog's mouth and carried the garbage downstairs. She invited me on a trip with Preston. I canceled meetings, freed my calendar, and arrived to find a 3-person weekend. I didn't object, just volunteered to drive while they cuddled and back. Once she even called asking me to buy Preston condoms. I thoughtfully purchased every flavor and took them to their hotel. Tiffany opened the door in lingerie. Sorry, you were too slow, we couldn't wait. Smiling, I set the box down. No problem, plenty for next time. Mason finally exploded. You've lost every shred of pride, Madeline. Where's the Vance heiress we used to know? Tiffany jeered at me daily. Still so devoted, almost touching. But Preston loves me now. You're just a family leash around his neck. The more pathetic you act, the more he enjoys watching. When I didn't react, she shoved me. Do the smart thing, call off the engagement. I ignored her and kept playing their loyalty game while everyone said I'd lost my mind. Only I understood the real goal. Preston had to stay my fiancé, nothing else mattered. This time was no different. Even though I'd heard Tiffany was betting the loyalty test on the outcome, I pretended I hadn't, pushed the door open, and greeted everyone in the room. Preston's pack of rebellious trust fund brothers sneered at my devoted puppy act and showed me zero respect. Well, Madeline in the flesh. Preston, make Madeline pour drinks for us. Yeah, let's see these legendary wife training skills in action, ha 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 ha. I ignored them and looked straight at Preston. Preston, I'm here to take you home. Preston lifted his chin. Madeline, you claim you love me. If my boys ask for something and you won't do it, you're dissing me. I shook my head. I'm not pouring drinks for them. The heirs hooted louder. So much for young Master Gray's face. Madeline doesn't give a damn. Call off the wedding now. If she talks back before the knot's tied, imagine later. Tiffany chimed in, and you say you love Preston? Poser. Preston lost his temper too. If you don't pour that drink tonight, we're done, engagement, marriage, all of it. Fine, I'll pour. These little princes forget their weight after a few shots. They forget that on weekdays I negotiate deals with their parents, their older brothers, even their grandfathers. But it's not too late to remind them. Slowly, I filled a glass and set it in the middle of the table. They laughed and reached. Young Master Hale got there first. He lifted the glass to his lips, but before he tasted a drop I smiled and said, haven't seen your father in ages. When you go home tonight, give him my regards and tell him Vance is no longer considering the Hale family for the South Bay project. His hand froze, the glass inched back to the table. Huh. I just remembered something. Rain check on the drink, carry on, guys. Tipsy Master Lou grabbed the glass. Scared of her? My own parents can't leash me, let's see how she blackmails me. My smile never wavered. I've scheduled tea and chess with your granddad next week. He jerked like the glass burned him, slammed it down, and chased after Hale. Bro, wait up, let's bounce together. The rest sobered instantly, terrified I'd report them to their elders, and scattered with flimsy excuses. Only the three of us remained in the private booth. I jingled the car keys. Let's go, I'm driving you home. Tiffany followed us downstairs. When I pulled up to the curb, she was clutching a plainly dressed man and wouldn't let go. Spotting me, she pointed and told him, "You, go seduce her. Succeed and I'll give you 50 grand. The man looked where she pointed. From his clothes he was clearly broke. He tugged his hem, embarrassed. Curious stares and sneers surrounded him, yet he stayed. He obviously wanted that 50,000. Tiffany kept babbling at Preston. I know why it never worked. None of those guys spent every day with Madeline. We make this man her personal assistant, and I bet within a month you win. Preston said nothing, but his eyes drifted to me. Tiffany spoke for him. So, Vance, dare to take the bet? Let him be your shadow secretary for a month and try to seduce you. No using power or money to make him quit. If you lose, call off the engagement and let me have Preston. They never mention the prize for winning, only the price of losing. Whatever, I don't care. I nodded, handed over my card. Bring this card to Vance tomorrow morning. The man accepted it with both hands. Calluses lined his fingers, life had been rough. Tiffany blocked my way to the driver's seat. Why wait? A shadow job is 24/7. Take him home tonight, Vance. Preston added, yeah, let him ride with you. Tiffany and I will grab a cab. Deal. I agreed without hesitation, revved the engine, and sped off with the stranger beside me. My decisiveness rattled Preston for a moment, until Tiffany's kiss erased every thought. Truth is, I never loved Preston. Accepting the arranged marriage was just anesthetic for the family elders. The longer the wedding stayed on hold, the happier I was. Years of playing lovesick groupie made Vance executives forget what a ruthless operator I used to be. They dropped their guard. I quietly scooped up equity and poached the key department heads. Last night I closed purchase of the majority stake. At next month's board meeting I'll announce it and call a vote. I'm 90% sure I can oust Mason and crown myself CEO. From then on, the Vance and Vance will stand for Madeline. Tonight I'd meant to show Preston the papers. If he bowed out gracefully, Grey could keep its partnerships as thanks for the cover story. He just handed me a better gift, so I've changed plans. I'll use him one last time. This round I'll play the heartbroken fiancé wronged by a cheating groom, starring the nervous man in my passenger seat, my unreachable high school crush. I meant to find him after my power grab. Fate moved up the timeline. I'll make him understand me, ache for me, fall for me. As for Preston and Tiffany, they'll make excellent emotional kindling. At a red light I glanced over and, fighting the flutter in my chest, said softly, sorry for dragging Logan into our wager. His hands on his lap clenched. You know who I am? I smiled gently. I went to Starlight High, 1 year behind Logan. We were on the same debate team, do you remember me? He shot me a cautious look. Sorry, I don't really recall. When I stayed quiet he grew uneasy. Rich kids can rewrite a nobody's life with a whim, and he didn't want to anger me, so he hurried on, but I'll think hard, I'll remember, don't be mad. I eased the car forward, voice soothing. It's fine. Someone as dazzling as you wouldn't notice me, no need to feel bad. If you claimed you remembered, I'd be sadder, because it'd be a lie. He relaxed a little, so I asked, what brought Logan near a bar so late? He dropped his gaze again. I work nearby. Mom's illness keeps relapsing, and I'm desperate for cash. When she said 50 grand I lost my head. I'll tell her I quit. I pulled to the curb, met his eyes. Logan, it's okay. If it weren't you, it'd be someone else, so I'm actually relieved. The engagement is just a family deal. He's found his new girl and wants me to end it so he stays spotless. Tears slid down my cheeks. I don't know what to do next. Stay 1 month by my side, give me 30 days to decide my future, 30 quiet days. He fumbled for tissues. When I didn't take them, I kept sobbing into my hands. Am I really that terrible? Why does no one like me? My family forces me into an arranged marriage, and the groom keeps demanding I call off the engagement. What am I supposed to do? He grabbed my arm, gently but firmly, tipping my tear-streaked face toward him, then dabbed the tears away with a tissue. Don't cry. I'll help you. I'll stay with you for a month. Then tonight, stay at my place. Tomorrow I'll take Logan to buy some clothes and make you look even hotter than you did in high school. Deal. We'll blind your fiancé with how good you look. The next day I was in the boutique picking things out for Logan when I ran straight into Preston and Tiffany. I shoved 2 suits into his arms, muttering, "No time for custom tailoring, make do with these for now. Go try them on." While he was changing, I kept flipping through magazines, planning to order Logan a few currencies and pieces. Madeline, have you no shame? Didn't you hear you're still in the loyalty test period? You actually followed us here, what do you want? I looked up, startled. Tiffany really was like a ghost that wouldn't stay gone. I ignored her and kept browsing. She snatched the magazine and flung it to the floor. Stop wasting your energy. Preston will never wear anything you buy. I met her eyes. Pick it up. She gave a cold laugh. Stop acting. You're just one of Preston's little lapdogs. Believe me, one word from me and he'll slap you himself. Preston walked in. Tiffany instantly glued herself to his arm. Preston, look, Vance is getting back at me for yesterday's assistant test. She followed us here and threw the magazine on the floor so I'd have to pick it up. Footsteps sounded from the fitting room and stopped at the doorway. I immediately put on a wounded look. That's not it, I only wanted to buy him a few. Preston kicked the magazine toward my feet, disgusted. Enough. I won't wear anything you buy. Give up trying to butter me up. I said nothing more, lowering my head. Tiffany quickly chose clothes and bags. At checkout she rolled her eyes and smiled sweetly. Since Vance is so eager to please Preston, why not pay for these? Preston nodded. Pay the bill. Then they strolled out with their haul, leaving me and the clerk staring at each other. The clerk held out the POS terminal. I pulled out my card, but someone intercepted it. It was Logan. I dabbed at dry eyes. Sorry you had to see that, Logan. He stood behind me, frowning. You're really going to settle their bill? I nodded. They already walked out with the stuff, can't leave the clerk holding the bag. The clerk shot me a grateful look. I gave her a reassuring smile. Can you put this on tab? You know, bill the account at the end of the month or year? She thought for a moment. Gray has always settled annually. Logan slapped the counter. Put it on Gray's tab. If her son runs up charges, she can pay. Seeing Logan defend me, I couldn't help a soft laugh. Thanks for saving me money. These 2 suits are my gift, don't refuse. They're way cheaper than their loot. We'd barely stepped outside when a shrill ringtone made Logan tense. Hello, what? My mom's unconscious? I'm on my way. Logan, I'll drive you. Thanks, Vance. The car stopped in front of a shabby little hospital. I followed Logan at a run into the ward. 4 beds were crammed into one tiny room, the whole floor reeked. I glanced at the sign, endocrinology nephrology. Logan bowed repeatedly to the doctor, thanking him. It broke my heart. I asked a nurse, then paid the overdue bills under her guidance. When the doctor left, I sat with Logan on the stairwell. What did the doctor say? Same old story, end-stage renal failure. A transplant is best, but I'm not a match. Donors are scarce, and I can't raise the surgery money. I looked down and fired off a few texts. I've contacted Riverdale's top hospital and will cover all costs. They'll send transport for Hale. He hadn't expected me to transfer his mother just like that. His eyes were red when he looked over. That instant I understood the power of a first love. He whispered thanks, voice shaking. I squeezed his hand. Don't worry, Logan. It'll be okay. Thank you. Your own life is a mess, yet you're helping me. You give me strength, worth more than money. All I can give back is cash. 2 hours later his mom lay in a VIP suite with 24-hour nurses, an entire floor revolving around one patient. Back in the car, Logan thanked me again. I stared at my lap. You studied law, right? Yes, civil and commercial focus. If you really want to repay me, do it on the job. Come to work with me tomorrow and read contracts. He agreed at once. Okay, but I'm still green. You'll learn. I don't want us to end when the month is up. I want you with me. His eyes widened, I grinned wickedly. As my permanent assistant. Deal. Next morning I brought Logan to the office. Right outside the doors, Tiffany and Preston popped up like programmed NPCs. What are you two doing here? Tiffany cackled. Supervising, of course. Wanted to see if you'd really keep him by your side, ha ha ha, you did. Come look, everybody, the second miss brought her personal secretary to work. Preston smirked. Glad to see you honoring the bet. Remember, if you fall for him and cheat, you'll call off our engagement yourself. He sauntered off. Tiffany lingered, leaning in. Enjoy the personal service, Vance. I murmured back, I heard your family's bankrupt. No wonder you beg others to pay for a few clothes. Only Preston falls for it, his parents are sick of you. You're the one who should crawl out of Riverdale. Her face twisted, but I kept going. Compared with a waste like you, Preston will choose me in the end. I bring value to him and his family. Even if not me, someone else. You'll never marry into gray. Find some old man to settle your debts before it's too late. She shoved me hard and swung her arm to slap me, but Preston called out, What are you doing? Tiffany, let's go. I collapsed against Logan's chest, head down, letting a few tears soak his shirt. Are you okay? She insults you to your face and then attacks you? Logan, forget it. Don't be angry for me, I'm used to it. With my guidance, Logan got up to speed on everything around me in record time. One day he even spotted a contract loophole and squeezed an extra 5% of profit out of the deal for the group. That afternoon I couldn't help myself, I hovered over his desk, buzzing. Logan, you're incredible. A tiny gap like that and you still caught it. Before he could answer, a furious voice cracked across the floor. What the hell do you two think you're doing? Preston stood a few yards away, face storm dark, eyes nailed to the breadth of space between us. I straightened up, flustered, and widened the gap in one quick step. Preston, what brings you here? I'm not allowed? If I hadn't shown up, I'd have missed the sight of you handing me a bright green hat. I frowned. Stop twisting facts. There's nothing between Logan and me. You can insult me all you want, but leave him out of it. Apologize. Preston let out a caustic laugh. Apologize? For what? Who is this Logan clown? Pretty boy gold-digging lawyer, so what if I say it? Smack. I slapped him. Apologize to Logan. He stared, stunned. You hit me for him? Madeline, fire him right now or we're done. I didn't budge. Not happening. Everyone can see how capable Logan is. I won't shuffle staff around just because feelings got bruised. He jabbed a finger at me, speechless for a second. I kept going. Besides, according to our premarital rules, during the loyalty test period you may not interfere with any decision of mine. He swept everything off the nearest desk with one violent swipe. Great, Madeline, just great. When the month is up, don't come crawling back. Watching him stalk away, I smirked inwardly. We'll see who begs whom. I pulled myself together, flashed a tired smile, knelt, and started gathering the scattered files beside Logan. You didn't have to fight him for me, he murmured. I'm not worth it. In a month you'll still be his fiancée. Fat tears dropped onto the papers. When he held out a tissue I finally collapsed, sobbing into his chest. Logan, I can't keep this up. What am I supposed to do? He patted my back awkwardly, telling me not to cry. I stayed buried against him. Had anyone been able to see my face, they would have caught the upward curve of my lips. That night I met my best friend in a private booth at our favorite bar and spilled everything. She listened, then exhaled a single sentence, "You lucky brat. You dumped the scumbag, seized your family's throne, and ran straight into your old crush so he could play knight." If I were Logan, I'd already be head over heels after that combo. I wagged a finger. Still need the finishing touch. My phone rang. The donor kidney for Hale had been found. Surgery could proceed the day after tomorrow. Got it. Keep it quiet, I'll tell him myself. I tossed my purse over my shoulder and waved at my friend. Gotta run. Time to collect my crush's heart. I tapped on the hospital room door, and Logan's ridiculously perfect face filled my vision, every line of him radiating calm, steady husband energy, hitting every bullet on my wish list. I squealed, leaping straight into his arms. Logan! Best news ever! Afraid I'd bang my head, he shielded me with one hand, half spinning us into the room. Logan, they found a compatible kidney. Hale can have surgery the day after tomorrow. He froze, then lit up. Really? A donor match? Thank God, hui, I'm so happy I don't even know how to thank you. We hugged, giddy, the air thickening with something softer, until a polite cough snapped us apart. I was definitely crimson. From the bed the elderly lady teased, "Sorry, my fault, ignore me, carry on." Logan, cheeks only slightly less red, took my elbow and drew me forward. Mom, stop. This is our lifesaver, my current boss, and my high school junior, Madeline. Talk while I fetch water. Hale studied me. Haven't we met? You're the girl who slipped me that envelope of cash. I hadn't expected her to remember. 11th grade, I'd spotted Logan working late at a street-side grill. I learned his dad was in critical care. I withdrew every dollar of my allowance and, on a moonless night, shoved a fat envelope and a note into her hands before sprinting off. We never used that money, his father passed too soon. It's still in this card, take it back. After my protest she returned it anyway. Before I left she said, "Chigon's a good kid born to lousy luck. I can tell he likes you. If you don't mind our mess, please treat him well." Mom, enough. Logan's ears flamed as he ushered me out. She's rambling. She doesn't know you're engaged, don't take it to heart. Got it. Go look after her. After that Preston seemed to lose his mind. He harassed Logan nonstop, hiding documents, deleting finished decks, once even bribing a janitor to lock Logan in a supply closet. Each stunt sparked a new fight, and each fight made him worse. After rescuing Logan yet again I slumped at my desk. Logan, tell me straight, was I wrong to keep this hollow engagement going? Madeline, listen to your heart. I arched a brow. My heart was already choosing you, teehee. Fine. I'll decide carefully. Work side by side grew effortless, outside the office we discovered we loved the same movies, the same takeout joints. Hale sailed through her surgery and rehab. We visited her after work so often the nurses thought we were family. With the month nearly up, Logan walked in holding a resignation letter. Why quit? Did I mess up? He shook his head. It's me. I've fallen for you, but you still have your family, your obligations. We're a mismatch. The month ends tomorrow, better I leave before I'm in too deep. I'll repay the surgery money in installments. Thank you, for everything. Logan, Don't answer now. Think it over, I don't want my feelings chaining you. Yikes, too good at method acting, he meant it. I tore the apartment apart hunting for the love letter I'd written him in 10th grade, finally unearthing it at dawn from inside an old novel. I sprinted to the office and found him boxing up his few possessions. Logan, read this first, please. His hands trembled as he unfolded the page. I threw myself against him. It was always you. I only accepted Preston because his name echoed the syllables I couldn't forget. I don't care about dynasties or duties, I just want you. Tiny white lie, the dynasty was already mine, but poetic license never hurt anyone, least of all the man now crushing me in the tightest hug of my life. Logan hugged me tightly, elated. Madeline, I never imagined you felt the same. I swallowed the rest of his sentence with my lips. We were kissing so fiercely outside the company gates that we couldn't pull apart when Tiffany suddenly popped up. Game over, Madeline. You didn't pass the test. Looks like the wedding with Preston is off. Preston gazed at his childhood sweetheart with doting eyes, then rounded on me, disappointment and fury on his face. Dumped for some random man in a month, what a loose woman. Chase him away right now and I might reconsider our engagement. I hooked my arm around Logan's neck and smiled. No need. Let's just call off the engagement. Tiffany's eyes lit up. Really? Preston looked stunned. Are you insane? You're breaking our arranged marriage for some nobody? I nodded. Isn't that what you always wanted? And he isn't a nobody. I leaned closer and whispered, he's the guy I've crushed on since high school. Preston recoiled instinctively. Impossible. Your big brother said you liked a guy named Preston, me. Logan stepped in front of me. We haven't been introduced. Gray, my name is Logan. Preston's head buzzed. This can't be true. If you never liked me, why accept the alliance? Why cling to me no matter how I pushed? You're lying. You're only parading him to save face. You must love me. I gave a soft laugh. If you believe everything my brother says, go find him. I turned and left, leaving him shattered on the sidewalk. Tiffany tugged his hand. Preston, we got what we wanted. After the breakup you promised to marry me. Let's go. Preston let her lead him away, reluctant. Back home, the more he brooded, the angrier he grew. Tiffany fanned the flames, and in a fit he marched her to city. Only when the clerk stamped the certificate did he realize what he'd done, too late for regrets. He didn't go home that night, he drank himself senseless at Tiffany's place. Next morning an urgent ringtone ripped him from a hangover. Hello, Dad. What? Vance pulled funding? You kidding? Didn't we seal the deal with Mason Vance? Gray's furious voice filled the room. Mason's finished. Madeline runs the group now, she even shipped her own brother to Africa. That woman plays hardball, she won't spare your feelings. Apologize to the Vance CEO today. Dump the Summers girl, I always said she was bad luck. Madeline used to like you, win her back and restore that capital injection or Gray faces bankruptcy. You'll be left with nothing. Preston set the phone down in a daze, trying to absorb it all. Minutes later he snapped awake and stared at the stunned Tiffany beside him. 3 days later, Logan and I strolled into headquarters, sweet as newlyweds, when Preston burst out of nowhere. He thrust a bouquet of roses and a ring box at me. "Madeline, you still love me, right? Let's start over." "No, let's get married today, at City." I shook my head. There was only calculation between us, never affection. I used you to block the rest of the family while I grabbed power step by step. You trampled me to brag to your trust fund buddies. We're even. He panicked. "Madeline, don't be cruel. You were my only girlfriend for 3 years. I was devoted, the loyalty test was just a bit of spice." "Forget it." He dropped to one knee to propose. I lifted my left hand, a plain gold band already circled my ring finger. "Sorry. I married Logan yesterday." Bored with the conversation, I signaled security. They hauled him to the curb. Tiffany hurried over to help him up. Preston shoved her away. "Bitch, your meddling ruined everything. My father was right, you're a jinx. Bankrupted your own family first, now ours." He lunged after us, shouting at our backs. "Madeline, I know I was wrong. Come back, don't pull the capital, please." Without Vance's injection, Gray crumbled back to nothing. Bankruptcy was declared. Gray, showing a shred of backbone, divorced his wife, disowned his son, and resolved to shoulder the debts alone. The money from liquidated assets could keep Gray and Preston clothed and fed in their hometown for life, if nothing went wrong. The wild card was Tiffany. As I'd learned, her father had fled overseas after bankruptcy at home, then racked up massive gambling debts abroad. She'd returned to Riverdale to hook a whale. Unfortunately, the whale she harpooned was paper thin. She emptied the Gray accounts and disappeared overseas. There was no way to pursue her. When Gray heard, he suffered a stroke. Stripped of the Gray heir title, Preston moved his paralyzed father back to the ancestral town with his mother and vanished from Riverdale forever. I brought Logan to the Vance boardroom and announced our marriage. No objections, unanimous approval. Father only wanted an heir to carry the empire forward. My competence was obvious, and I promised any children would bear the Vance name, so he agreed. Mother, longing to recall my brother from Africa, dared not oppose me. Younger siblings, cousins, aunts, and uncles hardly mattered. I could have married a goat, as long as the dividends kept flowing, they'd cheerfully toast the union. Years later, Riverdale still whispers my legend. They say the second Vance lived the ultimate power fantasy epic, mocked and betrayed in youth, enduring in silence, then methodically crushing the betrayers and sending them home in ruins, finally healed by the loyal aide at her side, living happily ever after. Thanks for listening to tonight's tale. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and share with friends. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more gripping stories. See you next time.